Hi! My name is Sammy S. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to really ask, how are you today? Because today's topic of discussion, it was voted for by my followers on Instagram, and it is about mental health. As the t-shirt says, be kind. If you are new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, and welcome to my little YouTube channel. I hope that you are well, but if you are struggling, I really hope that this video is going to provide you with information that could lead you to getting help. So this is a topic that is very close to my heart and very much in my noggin, because I suffer with quite a few different mental health illnesses. I will be doing a separate video on my particular illnesses, and I will go through what each of them are. I will talk about in depth about the symptoms. I will talk about my experiences with them and my story a little bit more regarding my mental health, but I will leave that for a separate video. And I will also be doing a little self-care part to this video, which I will do at the end. In the UK, which is obviously where I am a resident, 1 in 4 people suffer with a mental health problem, and 1 in 6 report to have mental health problems at least once within their life. Mental health affects people in different ways. It comes from different circumstances. Obviously there is a spectrum of mental health, so you've got the more kind of general mental health problems, like sort of say anxiety and depression, which is still extremely valid. And then obviously you've got the more severe side of it, things like BPD, DPDR, bipolar, schizophrenia, etc. I will first off say that although I have quite a few mental health problems, I am currently unmedicated. I have never been medicated, and through the advice of my therapist, yes, I am in therapy. This isn't my first time in therapy, and I will talk more about that in the other video around my mental health problems. But I am not personally medicated. I'm not a medical professional within this field. Quite a substantial amount of my life going through these experiences, I can kind of have a good grasp on mental health as a whole. Previously stated in my first video, if you haven't checked that out, my introduction video, I recommend you watch that, because I do say that going into mental health to study is something that I do actually want to do. So let's get into it, I suppose. So there's a lot of stigma around mental health, and different people from different backgrounds, different cultures experience it in different ways. I'm not going to necessarily speak on the behalf of people within certain communities that do feel less like they have the least amount of help. So I will, I guess, go off only what I can give, but I will not speak on the behalf of other people. Obviously, I am also not a man, but I am aware that suicide rates within men is extortionately more higher than in a lot of other instances. This is more like a kind of normalizing of the talk of mental health. Like I said in my introduction video, like, this is a community in which I want to really pull together and create a community in which we help each other and we support each other, and you know, everybody feels like they're a part of something in which they're able to be themselves. Also, like I always state, because I feel like it is important, and I do feel like this in some way does impact mental health to an extent because of how it's connected with gender identity. My pronouns are she, her, but if you do refer to me in the they, them pronouns, that is fine. I really, really want to try and normalize using the correct pronouns for people, and to normalize asking pronouns. I think it needs to be normalized. If I look a little uncomfortable in this video, it's only because it's quite a close to home kind of video, so I'm sorry if I'm not as like woo and energetic as I can be in some of my other videos, and I am sort of messing with my hands a little bit. That's just the anxiety part of myself that's kind of kicking in a little bit. I'm just feeling a little bit like, but you know, I think it's important to talk about it, and because I am a mental health advocate and I talk about it on my Instagram and stuff like that, I want to try and bring it to this platform as well. Obviously I don't live in other countries, so obviously word fart. Statistics in other countries are obviously different, but solely speaking from the UK, the statistics I said at the beginning are what the UK's look like. Bear with me, I'm just gonna grab my drink. And no, it's not white wine this time either, it's Coke. So, if we do not break the stigma, we remain silent. And by staying silent, it will only further more suicide rates, it will only further more oppression, it will only further more people not seeking help. One thing that I really try to tell people is that we need to normalise therapy. We need to normalise people getting help. And it should be very, very normal. At the end of the day, a lot of us go through something that rocks our world in some way. And some of us go through an extortionate amount of trauma from maybe a young age or at a particular time in our life. So for example, you get people who were raised in very abusive households, and then equally somebody could have had a fantastic childhood and then they lose a parent or they lose a sibling, or if you already have something like, I guess, like BPD, losing a pet or something like that. You know, trauma takes forms in a multitude of ways, I guess. In order to break the walls that surround mental health, we need to stop being silent and we need to vocalize it, normalize getting therapy, normalize, say for instance, young boys talking about their feelings from a young age. We need to normalize just the general communication that seems to be so flawed, that shouldn't be flawed at all. We should just talk, you know, and be there for people and see the signs of maybe somebody potentially building up to ending their life. I recently put a quote on my Instagram. We live in a world, in a society that stigmatizes mental health, yet mourn suicide. You know, there's always these stories that like, I never saw the signs, they never said there was anything wrong, I never saw, you know, them depressed or anything like that. I always think there's signs, but not everybody is quick to pick those signs up. And I think by eradicating it, getting to even that point, let's normalize it from the get-go, from child age. I think parents, teachers, adults need to have this conversation with children so that children grow up and know that they can vocalize if they're upset, if they're angry, if something has happened, if they're being bullied. You know, that's another thing. Bullying is a massive contributor to mental health. And now that we live in a world that is online, obviously bullying has gone from playground shoving and verbal abuse to online, you know, and it's very easy for older generations to say, just turn the phone off, just turn the laptop off. But that's just not how we are now. We don't live in that world. It's very, very different, and it's weird because I am a millennial, and I was part of the start, essentially, of the generation that was brought up on the internet, you know. And then you've got Gen Zs, who are literally that generation, and I do think they are a lot more on it when it comes to the world. You know, a lot of people underestimate that generation, but I think they know and see so much more than what anybody gives them credit for. I'm looking at you boomers. It's scary. It's almost like the world has got less kind when it should be now more kind. And although the talks around mental health have evolved and it is becoming more, it's still not enough, because people are still killing themselves, people are still self-harming, people are still living in their trauma. And one quote that I came up with, actually, and I plan to eventually get it printed on merch. Shh. You heard this from me first. The quote is, "Nobody should live in the shadow of their trauma." And I completely, like, when I came up to it, I was like, mind blown. But it's true. Nobody should. And, you know, with mental health, obviously it can develop then and escalate into other things like addiction, you know, whether it's alcoholism, whether it's drugs, whether it's people being promiscuous, whether it's gambling, any of those things, you know, it's all part of it. It's somebody's coping mechanism, alongside obviously like self-mutilation. You know, these signs are there, but they're still not picked up quick enough. We need to normalise this conversation as a whole, not just like with the different communities, not with just different genders, but as a human race. We need to gather together and just normalise this shit, because otherwise people are just going to keep dying of this illness that is mental health. And it doesn't matter whether you are somebody who is a depressive or whether you are somebody who has something like bipolar, DID, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still mental health regardless. It's still valid regardless. And we need to just come together and just talk and get it out there and teach children how to deal with what is going on up here. And if they feel some sort of way, that it's normal. And I really push, especially the idea with little, you know, young boys and men, like it's very important, you know. And obviously there are deaths all the time within like people who are like non-binary and trans, like the trans community, that they suffer such a huge amount of loss through the fact that this world is still not accepting of them. I mean, it goes into all multitudes of different people, but we're all human. You know, we're all made of this stuff, flesh, we've all got blood, we've all got like organs, and we've all got this really complex, almost computer-like thing in here that keeps us ticking over. One thing people forget is you look at physical illnesses, right? You look at somebody who has like a heart problem or problem with their like lungs or whatever, or their joints or anything like that. People take that seriously. People take somebody in their family, you know, has a collapsed lung or a heart attack, or one of their kidneys gives up, or you know, they have liver failure. Like, everybody is just, oh my God. But why is it not taken seriously enough with the most important organ? Why? And I will never understand that, why people don't take it seriously. I mean, with mental health, you have high functioning individuals like myself, you have low functioning individuals, people who literally cannot get themselves out of bed to function. And then there's people like myself who will go over and above until the point of burnout. What is upsetting for me as a high functioning individual is because I look okay, externally people think that I'm okay. Whereas you see somebody, you know somebody who is low functioning, and you know that, and there's almost like the sympathy is a lot for them, but not maybe so much for the high functioning individuals. And actually they are probably at more risk of doing something irreversible because they look so normal. I'm going to use that. I hope that this is making sense, but I hope that today, now, my headspace is somewhat okay. Ant flow is kicking my uterus, but I wanted to do this. What I will be doing is there will be charities linked below, and I want anybody who sees this video, if you're suffering, one, my DMs are open. Please follow me on Instagram if you don't. If you do, great. But my DMs are open if you need me. Do not feel like you are alone. I am here. I'm also here on this platform too, but I do answer my DMs quite often. In fact, pretty much all the time. So don't feel alone, okay? If you don't feel comfortable coming to me, please ring one of the charities that will be listed below. It is so important that you get help, because there is so much for you to live for, even though you probably don't feel like there is. As the t-shirt says, be kind. Be kind. And to the people that don't necessarily suffer with mental health, feeling anxious, feeling sad, feeling lonely, is very normal. Those feelings are normal. You are valid to feel your emotions. But if you know somebody who actually has a mental health problem, please just message them. Please just check in. It's so important, especially as the way the world is at the moment, with old Rona kicking about. You know, that we've lost a lot of people in the last year to suicide alone, let alone to old Rona. I'm now going to do a little list. List. You can write it down. If you don't remember, you can rewatch the video, whatever you want to do. But I really want to put out these self-care tips to you that might help. If you have cups, plates, glasses in your room, make sure that you get them down to the kitchen ASAP. Fresh bed sheets. Please change your bed sheets. It is the nicest, snuggliest feeling in the world when you have clean bed sheets. Pop a wash on. Change your underwear. Even that alone can make you feel a lot better. Take a bath, take a shower, just wash your face, get some cold water and just splash your face. If you have a bath, get yourself a nice bath bomb, light some candles, all that sort of stuff. Cut your nails, cut your toenails, just general things just to keep on top of, just to, you know, all that sort of stuff. Brush your hair. I know I can't talk, I don't have any. Shaving my head is my self-care. Make sure that you eat something nutritious. Junk food will not suffice if you have something along the lines of an eating disorder like BED. It could trigger a binge. So make sure that you eat something nutritious that will actually fill you up properly and will give you back some nutrients to get your body sort of going. Drink water. I believe about 3.5 glasses is about, pint glasses is about 1 litre of water. You need to stay hydrated. It helps the old noggin out. Put on a face mask, moisturise, body scrubs, get some scented candles, get some wax melts going, clean your room or your home, just have a blitz, just blitz it, and then you can sit back and go, don't have to do that for like another week. Do go outside and get some fresh air. It's not gonna fix anything, but it will make you feel somewhat better. Fresh air will definitely help with that. Cuddle your pets. They are the best. I'm sure you cuddle them regardless, but give them an extra snuggle because they are just the cutest.
We don't have any pets, so can I count as a pet in this instance?
Yes.
I could suffice as a pet.
Cuddle time. That's another thing. If you have a partner, just general like intimacy that doesn't involve the horizontal jig per se. I mean, the horizontal jig is great. It gets all those like great hormones going. So that too, but general cuddling, if you feel like you need to just have a cuddle and you have like a partner to do so. If not, Zoom call one of your friends, Zoom call one of your family members. Push yourself out of the rut. That is the main thing. You know, if you're nice and clean, you've done your nails, like you've clipped your nails, you clip your toenails, you've put a body scrub on and you've done the moisturising and your hair's washed and you've brushed your teeth, brush your teeth. You've had some water, you've had some food, you decided to have a little spring clean and you feel like, you know, you've got the nice scents going and everything's cute. Call somebody. It's all about just that little push that's the hardest bit, is just getting out of that rut. But I think once you do, you'll feel better. That is all I've got for you today. I hope that this video was helpful, if anything. But do know my DMs are open. Follow me on Instagram at Sammy Signs and Speaks. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you're feeling. Let's thrash it out. I want to know how you're doing because it is important that we look after each other. It's a savage old world and mental health is super duper important. So I've got your back. Got your back, homie. Also, because this video is about mental health, I want to give a shout out to my therapist, and you can find her on Instagram as @thegem_counsellor. I feel like it's important, talking about mental health, that we shout somebody out who is a contributing, amazing person within that field who helps so many people, and I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Gem. So she is my shout out of the week, and yeah. But anyway, that is enough from me today. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a good rest of your day, and I love you, and I will see you guys in the next video hopefully. Bye!